The National Human Rights Commission, NHRC, said that right to education is the citizens' rights to be aware of their rights. The executive secretary of the commission, Dr. Anthony Ojukwu, said this at a two-day workshop organized by the Commission on strengthening national mechanisms to promote access to education of children with disabilities. He said that as a commission, it is not easy to create an effective learning for the promotion, protection, and enforcement of human rights for all students living in Nigeria.
The essence of this workshop is therefore to strengthen the national mechanisms to promote access to education of children with disabilities, as provided in the National Policy on Education, the Universal Basic Education Act 2004, Child Rights Act 2003, the Discrimination Against Persons with Disabilities Prohibition Act 2018, as well as other international and regional laws that guarantee right to free, quality, and compulsory basic education. While recognizing that the right to education empowers citizens to be aware of their rights and claim those rights, and education also being the bedrock of any society, we therefore call on the government to address the various challenges facing access to education of children with disabilities, such as lack of specialized teachers, lack of awareness on the right to education of children with disabilities, which the parents and society do not see any need in educating them, lack of appropriate means of delivery, communication, and devices. We therefore emphasize on the need to strengthen these various mechanisms in place to guarantee the access to education of children with disabilities, while ensuring that no child, irrespective of disability, is left behind.
Similarly, Mrs. Wakama, whom the grant came through, narrated how it was possible for her to secure the grant.
This workshop is a platform to bring together stakeholders in issues of disability or education or rights of children. So you're here because you're a stakeholder in the area of education or in the area of disabilities or in the area of rights of children. Because there are three things we're talking about. Two, basically, children, education, and then the third one is disability. So for today and tomorrow, you're going to be hearing about children, education, disabilities.
In addition, she explained what the workshop is, being the facilitator.
Also, one of the selling points I said to them that Nigeria does have a Disability Act. And that Disability Act makes provisions for the education of children with disabilities. But you know what happens? Everybody agitates, and we have an act that should protect, in this case, persons with disabilities, including the children. And then it is passed and signed into law, and states start to adopt it. Then nothing is done towards implementation, and people may not even have the knowledge of what is contained, because there are several stakeholders that have roles to play in implementing such acts, and that's why we are bringing you together to remind us to flag those things that are contained in the Disability Act and other policies. We also discovered that Nigeria has a couple of policies on the rights to education, and some of them are poorly implemented because the stakeholders may not even be aware of what their roles are.